baseball fans. You're watching On Deck with Tyler Redmond.
And there's a lot of questions that come up when that happens. Of course, we know the guys that are pretty much there. I told you before the season started, here's the 5 guys or 4 guys that we know are pretty much solidified in this rotation. Max Fried, Spencer Strider, Kyle Wright, and Charlie Morton. But it becomes a lot more interesting when you have guys that are pitching very well. Of course, we had Jared Schuster, we had Dylan Dodd, who both pitched fairly well considering the circumstances, considering how young they are. And now you have Bryce Elder, who's pitched very well and had a very good major league debut this year. You have Mike Soroka in the minors that shouldn't be too far away from the majors, that seems to be pitching well. So you have a conversation where, okay, do you have a 6-man rotation or do you have a legit competition? Do you have a trade piece? What do you have? Okay, I'll answer it for you. I think you have depth. I think you have depth at a degree that a lot of other teams do not. I don't think you have a trade piece. I don't think they're going to go trading off Bryce Elder. I think they're going to use him. When you have a playoff team, you don't trade off your depth unless you absolutely have to. The Braves don't have to right now. They could get rid of some things and it would honestly improve the team, namely Marcell Ozuna. But as of right now, I view the pitching staff as very good. Now, that's when they're healthy. Now, that doesn't say that everybody's going to have a perfect night, especially early on. We saw Kyle Wright's debut, 3 innings pitched, not that great, not that long. We know that. Spencer Strider had some struggles the other night, but hey, everybody's going to have a bad day. Better to have them now than in September. Better to have them now and figure them out than later on. Now, again, if the Braves were to tell me, hey, we're going to have a 5-man rotation, no more than that, and that's what it's going to be, I wouldn't be mad at that. If they were to tell me we're going to have a 6-man rotation and include Bryce Elder, I wouldn't be mad at that either. Or Mike Soroka, whatever the case may be later on this season. There's a lot of different ways this can go. The more arms that are successful, the better in my view. I don't see it as a problem. I view it as a positive. And I think a lot of people aren't necessarily taking enough time to analyze this because, again, if you have, Max Fried, when he returns healthy, pitching like Max Fried does, you have Kyle Wright pitching like he did last year, Charlie Morton pitching like he does, and of course Spencer Strider pitching anywhere near close to what he did last year, and even so far this year. I think he has 9 strikeouts in each of his appearances. That's pretty good. So those are 4 of your pitchers. The 5th one is what's kind of leading into issues right now because they've had to kind of make do. We saw what Schuster and Dodd can do. I don't know that they're necessarily major league ready. The moment they faced a Padres, squad, they didn't have it. At least Dodd didn't. Schuster, there's a lot of development there. In his first game, he couldn't throw a strike in that first inning, gave up the 4 runs, and of course, it just wasn't right that night. But that's not to say that he can't grow into it in the future, maybe even later on this year in some development piece. But there's a lot of development for Schuster to get that Bryce Elder has already gotten. And there's a lot to consider there. So the starting rotation, and I really want you to get in on this, the starting rotation has a lot of depth. Not everybody's going to have a great day all the time. It doesn't mean you're going to have Maddox, Glavine, and Smoltz. But what you do have is a lot of guys that can come in, throw innings, and guys that can win ball games. And everybody that I've mentioned, I believe, can win ball games. That goes for, obviously, Max Fried, Kyle Wright, Charlie Morton, and Spencer Strider, but really in the depth pieces, in the Gwinnett pieces. And I exclude Ian Anderson from this, not only because he's injured, but because he hasn't found it yet. But Bryce Elder's right there. We equated Ian Anderson and Bryce Elder before the season. We thought they were going to be right there together. That is not the case. Bryce Elder has gone a mile beyond where Ian Anderson was when he was hurt. So that all taken into account, you have a lot of guys down there. Again, Soroka's one to keep an eye on. I say that all the time. He is one that has done everything he can to come back. He is one that has done everything in his power to make a comeback. And guys, he's determined. He wants that spot. He's going for it. I would not be surprised at all to see Michael Soroka take the mound in Atlanta again. I just wouldn't be. Now, whether that's in a 5-man rotation, whether that's in a 6-man rotation, I don't know. And to be honest with you, I don't care either way. But Mike Soroka, Bryce Elder are guys to keep an eye on in the lower levels that very well could make an impact this year. And look, we all know what Michael Soroka can do when healthy. If he's healthy, you just added a huge arm to your starting rotation. And that in turn helps the pen. If the bullpen doesn't have to cover innings as much, that's how you steady your bullpen. You do it with starting pitching. And if you don't have to cover as many innings with your pen, you're really going to be successful. And those are the two guys that I believe right now can do it. So that's my spiel on the starting rotation. That's where I think the team is right now. Of course, we've seen a lot of different troubles, but through the troubles, a lot of success. Hey guys, just wanted to give you the opportunity to get your hands on some great Braves bobbleheads from our friends at FOCO. They are dropping a brand new line of Brave City Connect bobbleheads, including Spencer Strider, Ronald Acuna, Michael Harris, and even Blooper. Not to mention the Welcome to the Show edition of Vaughn Grissom. Now, we are partnered up with FOCO, and in case you did not know, FOCO is a leading manufacturer of sports and entertainment merchandise, celebrating more than 20 years in the industry. The company's always growing product lines includes apparel, accessories, toys, collectibles, novelty items, and more. FOCO is licensed with all major sports leagues, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, NASCAR, MLS, and over 200 colleges and universities, as well as entertainment properties such as Nickelodeon, Peanuts, and WWE. Basically what I'm saying, if you want it, they got it. So click the link in the description below to purchase the baubles and to take a look at the FOCO Atlanta Braves collection. We will be doing YouTube giveaways, contests to win FOCO gear all throughout the 2023 season, so make sure to stick around for that. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time right here at On Deck.
Baseball fans, make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you for your support.